Hey, girlfriend, you know who you are. You have big, big dreams. You want to write a book, stand on a TED Talk stage, be a life coach offering wisdom from your RV in Montana, a cafe in Barcelona, or a beach chair in Tulum. Your other girlfriends and your family, they don't always get your biz savvy. Why do you want to leave your JOB? Because you're a C.A.T.S, aka coach, author, thought leader, and speaker. Meet other change makers like yourself and find out how they make it happen. This is the Big Meow podcast.
Welcome to the Big Meow podcast, brought to you by C.A.T.S Networking. I'm your host, Angela Howard. And today we're with Jill Walters, who is CEO of Jill Walters Coaching and Consulting. And we really appreciate you joining us today, Jill. Thank you for your time. Welcome.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. What a privilege to be among such wonderful cat people.
The cat people, which stands for coaches, authors, thought leaders, and speakers like yourself.
Right.
And I do want to bring into our podcast today your amazing background. I just have to set a foundation for our listeners. She does have multiple coaching certificates, but 27 years in government. And then she's Gallup certified, which I know very well. And let's see, this Lean Six Sigma black belt trained. Does that mean you can actually defend yourself, like physically?
Well, that's a really great thought. And I appreciate you saying that. But honestly, when you determine a lean methodology versus the Six Sigma. So you take statistical analysis, and what we can do with that is we create surveys, and then we take the data and compile it, and we help bridge the gap from this is what's being said. It's more of a qualitative analysis, and it's to help your team move forward. But I can do the Karate Kid one leg kick. That's about as much karate as I've got.
Maybe it's the karate kick, the negative thoughts right out of there.
You got it. We'll do that.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, cats, we tend to have a little fun because it can get so serious as an entrepreneur and solopreneur, which I know you know. What did you do in government for 27 years?
I worked for the United States Postal Service.
Oh.
And my resume is very diverse because I was started as a city carrier, and then I was in management. That's how I got certified through Gallup, became an employee engagement ambassador. Then I was manager of employee development, and currently with the continuous improvement team. So we focus on operational excellence and how to help people lead with the 10 principles of operational excellence.
Did you use the Clifton Strengths when you used the Gallup with your human resource development?
That's a great question. We got the survey from them, and they used the Clifton Strengths Finders. Now, if you wanted to be certified for that, it was a pecking order, right? And it's very, very good. But I am Myers-Briggs practitioner. So I think when you look at psychological stances on what does this mean and how is it portrayed in someone's life, it just all circles around coaching, because you have to really listen to what somebody's saying. And the key is to listen to what's not being said. And that's what helps people move forward.
And that's a skill. And so I'm just curious for our cats, how did you make the transition from all this incredible government foundational work to being this coach, which is an entrepreneur?
It's a great question. And you know, what happened was I was on the phone with one of my colleagues because I did a little stint in corporate communications. And she said, when you coming back? And I said, well, I don't know. I think like 3 months, whatever, fill in the blank, whatever the timeline was. And she said, well, you know, Berkeley is offering executive coaching. You already have that talent. Why don't you just get certified? I was like, oh, I could never do that. Oh, go to Berkeley. Are you kidding me? No way. So I did. I took her up on that, and I fell in love with coaching. It's like, yes, this makes sense. So that's when I started like, I've got to do more. I want more. I have to do, because people need people. And life is so busy that sometimes we just forget 5 minutes is a game changer for people. So that's where it started. And now we do executive coaching with, executives, and life coaching. I do a lot of volunteer work for people, because if it's something that just comes naturally and easy, why not share that?
Yes. And you're talking about how people need people. So I'm going to shift this to networking. We are a network, and I was at a networking meeting yesterday, and I just realized how powerful and supportive a network is. What is your take on that? And where does that fit in your hierarchy of helpful things in the coaching business and in your clients?
So let's be honest, everybody has a bad day, correct?
Yes,
But
yes.
you can have that moment, but you're not allowed to stay there. So take the day and regroup and figure out what was the trigger, what caused me to feel X, Y, and Z. But be mindful that you cannot get a second chance for a first impression. So if you're having that day, then you might want to just revisit that networking event or take some time to decompress, because you are your own best billboard. And how you present yourself and how you talk to people, how you interact with them, networking is the key to your success, regardless of what it is. If you want to be the best waitress in town, then you got to make sure you're serving the right plate. And you have to make sure you're listening to what your customers want. If you want to be the next executive, then you need to do a little bit of homework about the company and figure out, how does my life and my role and my passion fit into that? So if you have the right conversation piece, that networking event is going to be a game changer for you.
Wow, I love that. That's very, very powerful. So now I'm curious, what challenge have you overcome lately?
Oh, well, let's just rewind 7 days ago. So we we celebrated, and I am saying the word celebrated, the loss of my mother. And when the holidays come, it is sometimes something you have to think about. And I didn't understand why I was so edgy, and why is traffic so slow, and how come I can't get a cashier to check me out? Are you kidding me? I didn't realize you were the president of your hometown. Stop being silly. And it was, what I realized is I wasn't addressing the emotions I was feeling with the loss of my mother during this holiday. So overcoming that on a personal level and being aware, just being aware and in tune with how you're feeling is huge. The second thing I overcame was, travel is not always your friend when you get to the airport. And sometimes it really is advantageous to take your ID with you when you're going to the airport. So, but my challenge for that was, am I really taking good notes and making sure that I'm doing my lists and my checklists? Yes, travel is good, but do you have everything you need? So the overcoming factor for that was, what does my time management look like right now? So I had to kind of take a step back and say, it's not my fault. Yeah, really it is. It really is your fault, because nobody has your ID but you. So what is going on with that mindset? So I just decided I'm going to do a different type of calendar. And that's how I started overcoming, making sure my boxes are checked. Not that everything is going to be perfect in this world, but it does make it a whole lot easier, more enjoyable when you have everything you need.
Wow, those are wonderful words of wisdom for all of us. And we always appreciate from another cat, listening to how you have made your life and your box checking better. So thank you so much for that. What is the big vision for you? What is the pinnacle? What are you working on?
I'm working on my master's degree. And
oh goodness.
what I yes. And really what I want is to know that I have had an opportunity to share something with someone that helps them move forward. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a kind word. It could be a smile. People are like, well, I can't buy them. So, okay, smiles are free, and smiling is actually contagious. So if you think about, what do I want to be for the footprint of my whole journey in this, around this globe of life, we call it, it's to know that someone is moving forward. And it doesn't necessarily have to be because something I did, but because I took the time to acknowledge they're moving forward. My goal is to make sure people know I'm here for them. I'm not going to push you all the time, maybe a little bit. And I'm always going to be there to hold your hand. But coaching is not leading. Coaching is walking beside them, making sure they have what they need to be successful, because their vision is different from yours.
Yeah. Wow. So now how do we get in touch with you? How do we find you?
Oh, Well, you can follow me on Instagram if you choose to. It is Jill.ChristianCoach. And if you want to go to my website, it's my email, I apologize, info@JillWaltersCoaching.com.
Fantastic. Jill, thank you so much for taking time out of your incredibly busy day. I can't believe you did your master's too. Stacking up, yes, another certification and degree. You go, girl. I tell you what, we wish you all the success in the future, because if you succeed, we all succeed. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you. And you keep climbing, Angela. You got this.
Thanks for listening to the Big Meow podcast, sponsored by C.A.T.S Network. If you liked what you heard, please take a moment to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends. You can also join our network filled with positivity and possibility. Visit www.catsnetworking.com to join us and learn more, together with your magical, motivated, and mystical new friends at C.A.T.S Network. Let's transform 1 million lives with your message. Are you feeling isolated, sitting at home in your PJs? Or perhaps you're tired of the comfy sweatpants with holes in them that are hidden just below the camera? I mean, you could puke at the thought of another day of Zoom meetings and reporting to your BOSS. Do you want freedom from your home office desk or the office cubicle? Do you want freedom from your current career? Or are you frustrated that your online biz dreams are going nowhere? It's all too overwhelming. Where do you start? All the tech, the choices, and your message. Yep, I said your message, your brand, your voice. What is it? Do you even know what that means? Do you need a biz coach but don't want to invest the big bucks? Let's face it, being a solopreneur is lonely, but you don't have to do it alone. And here's a solution. Join C.A.T.S Network. C.A.T.S Network is a woman-only membership community exclusively available to you, the life coach or executive coach, the author, the thought leader, or the public speaker. If you identify with this list or want to work on adding some of these to your skill set, C.A.T.S is the place for you. Check us out at www.catsnetworking.com. That's C.A.T.S networking.com. Because let's face it, cats are better together.